This is DJ.
And this is Ish.
And this is
Season 6 of
Pero Let Me Tell You.
So I am here. Honestly, I'm a little in awe right now because, as you know, we like to bring talent on to the show, but it's usually like talent that's like one at a time.
Right.
But now I've got double the talent. 2 women in front of me who we've had on the show before. Lucy, I think we're actually going to start like the Lucy Lopez Club because you've probably been on the show more than anybody else at this point.
And you know what? I hold that title dearly to my heart. Like that is something that I'm very proud of. And if you were to make me like a little trophy, we're going to make a plaque,
please. A plaque, because it takes up less space if you put it on a wall. So if you could not hear from the voice, we're here with the inimitable Lucy Lopez. And we are also here with the insanely talented Vanessa Garcia. And the reason that we're here, aside from the fact that I just love talking to talented ladies, is they're both involved in a new world premiere, right? Yeah. Play at the Arsh Center called #Graced. And so we're here to talk about the play. I want to hear all about it. I want to hear, because Vanessa, you wrote it. Lucy, you're in it. I want to hear how you came up, what the story is, how you came up with it, how you got involved. I mean, this show's going to be about 4 hours long. I just wanted to let you know. Because yeah, this episode's going to be about 4 hours.
I think my bosses in the other room will destroy you, will pull me out by my hair, and it would be really ugly.
Yeah, the 2 directors have given us an hour.
Ooh. Okay, well.
Did they really? Oh my gosh.
An hour for 3 Cubans? Good luck.
I know.
And with Ish, I'm like, oof, Ish is going to like get in there and like ask me the questions that I know him. So I'm here like, what is he gonna ask?
Rightfully so. But we'll start with Vanessa to let you squirm a little bit. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Vanessa, as the writer of the show, #Grace, I mean, as anybody who's listened to our show knows, you've definitely been busy. You've written several plays. I think you just mounted one with Richard Blanco not that long ago. Mm-hmm. You've written a children's book. I'm pretty sure you probably assembled some IKEA furniture too in that time. Like you've done everything.
2 bookshelves.
Well, there you go. Because you gotta put your books that you wrote somewhere. Yes.
That's right.
So when the hell do you find time for another play?
It was actually because one of our what are those drifting bookshelves? Yeah. The ones that don't have anything fell. It fell, okay? The lovely, beautiful drifting.
It drifted down.
It just, it crashed on the ground. So we had to do some IKEA stuff.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk all about your IKEA. No, I'm not. So, you wrote this play, #Grace. Hey, when the hell did you find the time? But when did the idea come to you? And tell us a little bit about what the story is.
Yeah, so plays take forever. The idea for this started like 2007, 2008.
Wow.
Yeah, no joke. And then it actually first draft really got written around 2015. And then it got really developed again. 2019, 2020. And it was supposed to have a premiere in New York through the WP project, in Manhattan. And we all know what happened in March of 2020.
What happened? Something happened?
Forgot. We were like amnesia.
Yeah, I don't know.
So basically it didn't happen. And then it went online. Like it was, the show has social media as a character, which is sitting right next to me.
Okay, well,
she is mayhem.
Talk about properly cast.
Yes. Yes, the queen of social media playing the queen of social media.
Yep, just quiet,
exactly.
Quietly the queen.
Well, I will say that character was sort of this like small character that would appear and was inside of the play, but then once it was like, wait, we have Lucy. I went to South Carolina. I know that's weird, but I took a road trip to South Carolina, went into some weird Airbnb, and rewrote her whole thing, and she became a lead, like a very leading role, because if you have Lucy Lopez, you're not going to waste that.
I have to say you're probably the first person ever to channel Lucy Lopez in South Carolina instead of Hialeah. Like, as a rule, I think I think you definitely are an outlier.
Yeah, because you have to, if you go to South Carolina, then you hear it more, right? Because it like resonates in your brain.
You hear there's too much of the noise.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you say social media is a character, and we'll get into the character. But so, what is the story about? Like, if we had to come up with a little elevator pitch, as they say.
Yes. So this is a road trip play with a woman at the helm, and she happens to be Cuban American, and she's in search of what it means to be American right now. She's also gone through a divorce. She just, went through a divorce, and she's on the road with her fuck buddy and the son of her sponsor, Monteverde Moonshine.
It's the same person. Okay.
Yes. There's one.
And the name is Monteverde Moonshine?
That's right.
Okay.
Monteverde Moonshine is the sponsor. So this play used to be called Grace, sponsored by Monteverde. Before Amparo even existed, I wrote a play about being sponsored by
Are you serious?
I'm super serious.
Have you had any Monteverde Moonshine?
No, I thought you were making this up.
No.
I thought that was like the name of the person. I'm like, whenever I go on the lam, I'm going to use that as my name. Monteverde Moonshine.
It's real.
No.
Give him a follow. It's like excellent like drink. It's
really
great moonshine. Yeah.
See, I'm not a big moonshine.
It's not actually. You can't really sell moonshine. Am I right?
Right, because moonshine. Exactly. Right. The definition of moonshine is that it's illegal. Right.
Right.
So, but this is a wonderful spirit that you can actually purchase.
So good.
Yes, and that definitely shows the South Carolina.
Yeah.
Because
Tennessee.
Moonshine is all about. But I'm saying moonshine is all about the mountains and the Carolinas
America.
and Tennessee. Yeah, America. Exactly. With the emphasis on the apostrophe. So it's a road trip, and she's trying to figure out what it means to be American. And her I'm trying to get this right. Her lover, is also the son of her sponsor.
Yes.
And the name of the guy is.
His name is Louis.
Oh, Louis. I thought it was Monteverde Moonshine.
No, his
Sorry,
sponsor.
I am so confused. Okay, see, when you said sponsor, I thought like she was a recovering alcoholic.
No.
So that's
Are you okay? Do we need to? Should we take a time out and we can go over your issues?
I thought that's what it was. I thought it was like, it's the son of her sponsor.
This is the kind of publicity we need.
Yeah, absolutely. No, she's not that kind of sponsor.
Okay.
The one,
okay.
Yeah, it's the alcohol.
Brand sponsor.
Okay. The brand sponsor.
Hashtag ad.
You would think I work in marketing,
sponsor.
right? You think I would know this.
I was going to say.
Yeah, it's like, but this is why Lucy keeps coming back to the show, because she knows I'm just insane and I have no clue what's going on in my own life. So you're mentioning social media as a character, and it sounds like it's I'm assuming it's a fully female production, right? I mean, with the exception of the lover role, because I know you obviously you two are ladies, and the co-directors are women as well.
I think we just realized that there's
predominantly.
Wait, hang on.
No,
is there
wait, don't.
There's
designer.
two. No, guys.
No, chill.
Let's reel it back. There's a lot of women. There's a lot of estrogen.
women.
There's a lot of women, but there's not solely and singularly. Very, very non-binary.
Okay, all right.
Everything.
It's an inclusive play.
No, it is.
I wish this was a video podcast right now, so you could see the vibe that these women are giving, because I'm feeding off of it like you don't even understand right now.
We're in a bubble, and you've just entered the bubble, and it's weird for me because I'm like, wow, I've been in this bubble for a long time, and now you're here, and I'm like, how do we interact with Ish? This is weird. Even when I saw you the other night at the production of Little
Shop,
I was like, I'm not ready to like be around humans.
I'm not gonna lie, it did feel a little bit like you were kind of like, there are people around, and I'm interacting because this is how people interact.
Yeah.
But you did feel like your head was somewhere else a little bit.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So how did you get involved in this production? Because
I auditioned.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I auditioned, and I'm happy.
And then she was cast.
And then she was cast. And that's the end of the show. Thank you for coming. No.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Thanks. But I mean, I would say most people don't know you as an actor.
Sure.
Inherently. I mean, one could argue that what you did on the radio was acting, because there's Lucy Lopez and then there's Lucy Lopez, right?
Yeah.
And you also did, voices and characters.
Right.
But I would venture to say this is probably the first time people will see you in something like this, right? Like on stage and raw, dare I say?
Yeah. I think that this is a side of me that a very select few people know about, and that I've shared with. That this is where my next chapter is leading me to. I just feel that I have been acting for 25 years. Lucy Lopez that's who I am, but there are parts of her that I wrote and I perfected, and it was very just different. I don't think a lot of people understood my character on or off air.
Really?
And those who got it were like, oh shit, like you are her, but like you're kind of not. And I'm like, yeah, I feel that, you know, I love my community. I love my city. If there's anything my city needs, I'm there for them.
And we love you back.
And
I'm speaking for the city.
Thank you. And I want to help the arts, and I want to help our community, and I want to help our Cuban Americans and those on the island who need their voices to be heard. And I'm a mom, and I, you know, care about my kids' school and education. So there are parts of me that I live every day that are Lucy Lopez. But there was a whole other side of me that I was very quiet and very secretive about, and that was my love of acting and writing. And you know, I have big dreams, and I don't know if manifesting and you know, talking to the universe and talking to God a lot about it introduced me to Vicky and Vanessa, and I'll never forget that, and I'll always be indebted to them as collaborators, as creative friends. But more importantly, I've never, and I talked about this earlier in the green room, I never had like a mentor per se, because I did everything on my own, and I did do some stuff that other Hispanic women in this market didn't really get to do.
Right.
And I got to do, but I did it pelá. I just did it on my own. Knees skinned, bruised up, and I did it. And I'm at a point right now where I have mentors and I have guidance into what I really want to do. And it's comforting. I feel safe, you know?
That shit's good.
I'm about to tear up a little bit here because I feel like I
just feel really safe. I feel like I belong, and it's not that I never felt I didn't belong in radio. That's not what I'm saying.
I don't think that's I don't think that's coming, or at least to me, that's not what's coming across. Is I think anyone who's never been in theater, let's use theater as the
Sure.
what we're talking about specifically right now. Sometimes you can feel like, am I going to be accepted into that world? Are they going to understand what I'm doing? Are they? And there's also a perception sometimes that theater is snooty, right?
Uh-huh.
And it can be in some horrible cases. So you do walk in a little bit like, you know, are these the cool kids? Like, are the cool kids going to let me sit at their table?
I hear what you're saying, but I've been through so much crap in my 25 years of radio that it's like I have like alligator skin. I am a crocodile. I am that alligator that Otto von Schurach sings about that's hanging out in the Everglades. Like, I'm that alligator. Like, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, you don't vibe with me. You don't get it. It's cool. Because there's a lot of things that Vicky and Vanessa are doing right now in this world that I'm pretty sure this world doesn't get. And I think that's important, and I just love it. I'm like, okay, I like this. This is good.
You know
for
what?
me.
You're an alligator and you have a thick skin, but at the end of the day, you're still a human being. You're still a person.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
like you said, there's Lucy Lopez, the public persona, and then
Yeah.
there's the Lucy Lopez who goes home every day, you know?
Yeah.
And so were you able to tap in? I'm flipping back to Vanessa here, like kind of back and forth. Like, so, you know, you said, obviously you auditioned and you got the role, and then you said, okay, I got to go back and kind of retool this to bring out everything that is, you know, Lucy Lopez. What was it about her in that audition that just, you said, boom, this is it, and now I got to go back?
So I'm going to go back to something you said before about theater being snooty, which I agree sometimes it can do that, right? And I think what Vicky and I, and also Sarah, who's the co-director here, what we want to do here right now is bring people who are not theater people into the theater. You know what I mean? Like, come see this show, which is like about what's happening right now, you know? So actually having people that haven't ever been in a rehearsal process is the best thing ever, because it just jolts every default setting and it does everything we want to do anyway. So it's the biggest blessing. It is great. It's like the thing, you know, it's full of energy. It has a whole new energy and we love it. Like we feed off of it, you know? And with Lucy, I feel like it wasn't even it's not just the audition, right? It was, we met, right? Like everybody knows Lucy Lopez, right? But then we met at the Rum Garden.
At Amparo.
At the Rum Garden of Amparo.
My mom was playing dominoes with
Yes. You guys were sitting across from each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the biggest Miami meet cute I've heard ever. Like, it's like, you know.
I was playing dominoes with my mom.
Playing dominoes and a rum garden.
At a rum garden.
Yeah.
And Vicky and I come over and we start talking, and then there was just sort of like, oh, we're gonna do stuff. It just was in the air.
Yeah.
And oh, this is something. Okay, put a pin in it, kind of in your brain somewhere. And then it just, one thing leads to the other. We start, like, if you want to talk about an audition, it was like from 2019 to 2022, you know what I mean? Like, meaning we were just becoming friends, I think, you know, and getting to know each other. And then the thought of, oh, what if Mayhem is Lucy? Was like the most exciting thing ever. And then, you know, okay, formally auditioned to her, whatever. But it wasn't so much the audition as the excitement of, what if it's Lucy? And then she does it and you're like, oh yeah, we're right.
So you were tailoring it, you know, as they say, like a Lucy Lopez type.
No.
And then she auditioned?
No.
She auditioned and then...
Mayhem, like the social media mayhem of this universe was always there, right? And then I didn't tailor it to Lucy until this year.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
But the thought of the character that was there being inhabited by Lucy was like, oh my God, that's so exciting, you know? And it allowed for things like, you know, a scene with Elvis and a donkey and a lot of things that are in the show.
So her last Halloween.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that happen, and then I was like, Lucy can totally do that and that and that and that and that. And, you know, you have the person in your head when you're doing the rewrites, and that's the best thing ever, you know? So yeah, it was like not just the audition. It was it was courtship.
Oh, we've been dating.
Yeah. You heard it here first. They're ready to go public, everyone. That's what this is. They're coming out. But so, you know, you mentioned that the main character, she is Cuban American, but it is about America.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Not necessarily the Cuban American experience, shall we say, which I think, you know, some would say is specifically you, Vanessa, you know, coming from Amparo, right? Which has, I mean, it's still, it was what, 2019 that it ran, and I think people are still feeling the impact and still talking about it, you know, 3-4 years later. Was that a conscious choice on your part to be like, I want to explore this, but I want to spin it on its head a little bit and take it to that next level? Or was it just the character came to you and you took it from there?
1,000% intentional. Meaning, also just truthful. Like, we are Cuban American. Like, we are that. It is a real thing. And also, I feel like the thing that has been happening, at least to me, over and over again is, okay, how do you move outside of this particular bubble and translate an experience beyond it and connect to other experiences that are your experience, that is the American experience? And how do you both sort of blanket, protect, defend, and criticize I said blanket. Both, but that was a lot of things, all at once, you know? And you know, I'm who I am, so there's a lot of Cuban American stuff in it. There's an underlying,
of course,
but it's not like
and we're not apologizing for those Cuban American
absolutely
things.
Not.
Like,
no, but it's like I say on this show, like we, you know, everything we do on this show has to be from the perspective of two Cuban Americans, because I'm not a white guy from Nebraska.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't speak to that experience, and so imagine, you know, to a degree, there's gonna have to be that undercurrent.
Yeah, and it's like what, you know, and it sort of spins off the, like, you know, Kerouac on the road, but like Cuban American on the road. And actually the interesting thing is that when you delve super deep into the thing, they're not that different. you know, and like a woman doing, and the whole thing is just, what's interesting about it is all the gray and all the nuance and all that space in between, instead of those sort of extremes we've been bouncing between in the US for the past couple of years.
It's funny you say that, you know, I didn't think about it right now. The fact that the main character is a woman, I think historically, so many of these road trip plays have been male or male written. And, you know, what is it, For Every Wild? That's the one with Reese Witherspoon, right? You've got, you know, Kerouac, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. You've got like all these, you know, man on the road discovers himself.
Yes.
And first of all, that's refreshing. So thank you for doing that with a female. But what do you think would be the biggest difference between, you know, that type of a story with a male protagonist versus a female protagonist?
Oh my God.
Penis?
Everything?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna a penis.
I mean, she could carry a fake one with her, you know.
Yeah, I mean, she sort of does, I guess.
Hey.
I love she's dropping these things. Like, she kind of does, but I'm not going to tell you how, so you come see the play.
Could be a pen.
Could be. Talk about runny ink. Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, I think that everything is different, and at the same time, it's an act of self-discovery, and it's very adventurous, and it's also outward seeking. So in that sense, it's similar, but the entire engine of the vehicle is different, and it's a different perspective and a different point of view, and there's, you know, thoughts that happen that are different because you're just literally in a different body and point of view, you know.
No, yeah, I don't personally, but so, yes, I
let's just say that the first scene in one of the, like, maybe the second scene, the second scene, she's the guy's like, I feel dirty, I feel used, I feel, you know, like all the lines that we hear from women usually actually come out of the male character's mouth very earnestly, I think.
And honest, like, you feel for him. So as a woman, like when you're hearing the character Lewis say lines like, I feel dirty, I feel used, you're like, yeah, that's how it feels.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's because, I don't know, like, being Cuban American, being a woman, and all that, it's like, ¿Cómo te sientes ahora? It's like that vibe, like, as an audience. Toma, exactly. And the famous words of Pitbull, toma ahí. And it's like, it's so cool. I love it.
And our central character is complicated. She's, you know, you might love her, you might hate her, I don't know. But she's complicated.
But that just means she's interesting.
Yeah.
That means she's interesting. And you mentioned self-discovery, and I'm going to pose a question to both of you. So, being that this is a play about self-discovery, a story about self-discovery, what would each of you say you have either discovered or are discovering, because it's a journey, about yourselves by doing this production?
You first.
Oh, God. I was going to say that. I was going to say you first. Space to edit.
I know I put it like that's like a hard one, especially when you're like in the thick of the production, right? Because it's still happening.
You know,
it's so.
I feel very different at this moment in my life, and I actually feel like it's a very specific moment, and it's funny because I joke around with like my mother. I'm like, I might be going through a midlife crisis. That might be happening, which is actually interesting. Like I always say this: if 20th century literature was the male midlife crisis, 21st might be the female, and it's a whole other animal. But it's also like this self assurance about the thing that you do, and at the same time being like constantly in the know of how to play and how to change and how to do and how to, you know, like it's not like, I know what I'm doing. It's just, I know enough what I'm doing to be incredibly comfortable. Okay. Do you know what I mean?
Like, it's not taking anything for granted.
I don't take anything for granted. I also am like, I don't know, I feel a little bit more relaxed in that I know what I want this thing to do, you know? And it's not, I'm not like, release and like really anxious, and I'm like, yeah, I worked really hard. And I'm, tired. And, here it is. This is this thing. And let's, do something with it. and it's always incredibly, you see it in the room, you're constantly changing things. This is not saying that like you go into a room saying, I know what I'm doing. It's like you're constantly changing the thing and playing with the thing and da-da-da-da. But that is just, there's a fun and confidence to the thing that just is a little bit more relaxing in the sense of, I don't know. Maybe it's just like I just turned 44. I think that's what it is.
Is that what it is? Because I turned 44 in August.
Okay, so this is gonna happen.
Okay. I'm gonna wait for it.
It's like the double 22. If something happens, you're just like, oh, okay, all right.
I'm gonna listen to this episode like the day before my birthday, just to remember what you said. And so when I start feeling all that anxiety, I'll be like, no, Vanessa said this was coming.
It's calm.
It's happening
it's
now.
Calming.
I'm feeling it. All right.
It's
light
calming.
a candle and just sit with it.
It's like, okay, and it's just like sometimes it's just very straightforward. And it's like, wow, that's that now. I guess that's who I am. And my sister's like, that's a little bitchy. I'm like, I don't think so. I'm just being straightforward. And not mean, just
accepting.
That's it. This is what this is.
I'm kind of have to echo everything she has said. I'm at a point in my life right now where it's like a combination of like, that's how I like eggs.
And that would be how?
Fried.
Okay.
And runny. And it's just like, oh, this is how I want it. I'm comfortable. I'm super sure of myself. There's moments where I question, like I'm like, oh, am I? And I go, no, this is what it is. My husband and I have a joke where he'll he'll make dinner and he'll look and I'll go, oh, you added a little bit more paprika than last time. He goes, yeah, you know what? We're living on the wild side. And I just have like this moment of like, as I'm in rehearsals right now where I'm like, I don't know everything and I'm totally okay with that. And I'm actually feel more secure about myself as a performer in the room surrounded by these incredibly talented actors and entities and I'm just like blown away, like Sarah Hughes and Vicky Collado and Vanessa Garcia's in my room and and anybody else would like shit the pant, they were like, oh my god,
and they should, because that's a hell of a lot of talent.
So for me, I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. And I'm imagining that's what it feels like to just be the fly on a wall in their offices, where I feel like I'm in the bubble and I belong in the bubble. I belong here. This is where I belong. And this is like I'm okay. Like even if I don't know an answer to something, I'm not driving home panicking that I didn't know this, that I didn't know that. I'm just like, yeah, I didn't know it. So what do you want me to do? What do you?
Yeah.
It's a little bit like being a mom, and Vanessa, obviously a mom as well, where like my kids come to me sometimes and like, mommy, I have an iReady test. They have their exams are coming up very soon, like where they get placed and all that. And she was like, what if I get a 700? And I go, who cares? You're going to the 5th grade next year.
Yeah.
Like I have that. I did it once to comfort someone and to let them know everything is going to be okay. But now I'm telling myself the same thing, but I believe it.
Yeah.
Which is fucking wild, right?
Yeah.
Do as I say, not as I do, right? Like that's so easy for us to where we like tell people like, yeah, no, you got to believe in yourself. It's going to be great. And then we turn around and we're like, well, imposter syndrome is what I live and breathe. And yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
And it's tough because this is a perfect opportunity for me to completely crash and burn. I'm being real with you. Like it's just, this is the one where I'm like, this can go to hell. But like, I'm almost like, and if it does, wonderful. Like, I'm just like, it's like I feel like this is going to be one of those moments in Miami culture that people are going to talk about. This is a different look at who we are as Cuban Americans. This is not the This is
torn between two countries and that whole
No. Oh, and there's fleckles of that, but it's not this is us.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like
and truthfully, saying grateful is real because it's awesome that it's happening at the Arch Center at Zoetic Stage in a place that you know what I mean. Like that is,
I mean, talk about a blessing.
Exactly, and that is something that I do wake up and say, thanks God. You know, thank you, Papa Dios. Yeah, like that, and Zoetic opened that door for us to do that here, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and that's just another thing that's so important.
Badass.
Yeah,
I mean, local theater, local productions, we just really need to embrace it and take advantage of the fact that it is here.
Yeah,
because if not, I mean, I love a Broadway show as much as the next person, thus they take away my gay card. But, you have to have that local production to give the voices of the community, which I think you both, in your own ways, historically have always done. And now the thought of that coming together, plus all the other contributors, it excites me. It excites me in a very genuine way. I'm not going to lie.
Just to give the Broadway a little nod, we do have an original song. Yes. In our play.
Please tell me it's Lucy with top hats and canes.
No, chill. Chill. I think I'm in that. Yeah, I'm in that.
Yeah, you do sing.
Yeah, yes, I do sing, but it's
she
not.
She sings twice actually, but
No, I do.
Yeah. But yeah, there's an original song that was recorded in Nashville with the Cuban Cowboy.
Are you familiar with the Cuban Cowboy?
I am not. This
He
is the
was on
face
The
of someone
Voice.
who's not familiar.
Yeah, and my sister, who's not
Nicole
just because
Garcia.
she's my sister, but she's an incredible songwriter. So we all came together, made this thing.
First of all, wait a minute. These people went to Nashville to record a song.
Yeah.
To record a country
Let's just stop
song.
and let that wash over us, right?
Yeah.
A country song. Like, come on. I mean, I don't mean to bring up my radio days, but here goes.
But
the amount of cubano cubiche that would go to Kiss's chili cook-off in CB Smith Park was astounding.
It's crazy.
La pila de cubano que viven in Gatlinburg.
Yes, a lot. Yeah.
It's
well,
like...
a wajido's a wajito in any
no
language.
No brinca un chivo, bro. Like, that is facts.
That's why it's a folk song at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
they wrote a country song. Do you understand? We have our own moonshine.
I have boots.
Do you understand the significance of this play? No one is wearing a guayabera.
No. That's true.
No one.
At least on stage.
And there's nothing against that. It's just, it is what it is. It's different. We have our own moonshine.
Yeah, we do.
We do. And
Monteverde
it has an Instagram.
moonshine.
Monteverde moonshine.
Can't keep a good moon from shining.
I love that this has just become like a free-for-all of Nashville. No, I love it. I'm going to sit back and I'm just going to let you girls go because I'm loving this. I'm not even joking when I say that. You know me, Lucy. I'm like, you go. I'm like, shit, I'll take a sip of my coffee. Like, I am here for this.
You're literally saying, hey, I'm like really excited. No, I don't. It's like, yes, but then there's this. There's so many wonderful elements to this play that I'm telling you, people are going to come out of there going, damn, we did that because it's we.
Yeah.
It's not. They're not gonna go. They ate that. They're gonna be like, man, that was like us. That was Miami. That was us.
If they say that, we succeeded.
We did.
Yeah.
Well, they will. And I'm looking into the crystal ball of the future. But I mean, again, and I hate to keep saying it because I sound like I'm just going to broken record, but it's just like knowing the degree of talent that both of you have and are bringing in the passion, like honestly, like I'm almost tempted to be like, can y'all just give me like a one-woman show version of this when we stop recording? Because like we're not going to be here for the premiere of the show on May 5th. And now I was pissed before. Now I'm really pissed. Like, I'm just like, can y'all live stream it from the wings? I don't know.
I feel like by the time you come back, it'll be like the cowboy boots have been worn in.
Okay,
and
okay,
then
okay.
you're gonna be like, wow.
So it won't give you like gallos anymore.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like the first time you're like, oh, they're so shiny and this is so cool. Oh my God. And then you're like, ooh, these are so comfortable. This is awesome. So both versions are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm going to take your word for it, because we are going to come see the show. We will have to come see it, obviously, after opening weekend, May 5th, aquí in the Arch Center.
Mm-hmm. People driving down from Tampa to see this. I'm from Jacksonville.
Coño, Jacksonville.
Yes, and that is far. That's the armpit of Florida.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, Tampa's far, but I'm like, oh, Tampa's doable, Busch Gardens. But, like, Jacksonville is like, coño, Jacksonville. They're coming from Jacksonville.
And then people from Jersey are like, should we come down for
Yes.
this? I'm like,
And the Gatlin
yes,
burgers.
The Gatlin burgers are coming.
Gatlinburg's going to be empty that weekend.
Yep.
They're all going to be here.
All the Cubans are going to be here.
All the Cubans from Gatlinburg are going to be here.
But then they're going to have the moonshine and think they're still in Gatlinburg.
They are.
So it works. It works
Exactly.
perfectly.
Sidebar, the Cubanos that live in Gatlinburg originally lived in Miami Lakes.
That makes sense.
That's as good a point as any to start wrapping it up. Like, I don't, where do I go from there?
If you're Cuban and you live in Homestead, you don't need to live over there.
That's true.
Stay in Homestead. Digo,
Lo único que
bastante
falta-
patio que tiene.
Lo único que falta es la montaña
Yes.
in Homestead. That's the only difference. Pero, oh my God.
Un poquito frío.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true, because in Homestead, it's actually further down south, so forget it, the frío. Oh my God.
What else do you want to ask us?
You know what? I don't want to take up more time, because it's like, I think we're already on like 40 minutes and you only have an hour, and I want to shoot the shit off mic as well.
Oh, okay.
Just because that's how we do here. Like I always say, we always say 20-minute interview. That never happens.
Yeah.
And then you multiplied that by 3 Cubans. Good luck.
Yeah.
But again, thank you so much for taking time. I know you're in the middle of rehearsal. Like you're literally, we're in a room at the Arch Center. Well, I guess they're still rehearsing maybe other scenes right now.
Upstairs.
I really do appreciate it. I am super, super psyched. And I can't say this enough. First of all, Vanessa, to you and the Abre Camino, crew, thank you. Just a big heartfelt thank you for everything you do to, whether explicitly or implicitly bring more awareness to the Cuban American culture, experience, etc. You guys do everything with love, and it's sprinkled throughout, and the talent that y'all have, and I am in awe of you, and I thank you for that, because we need people like yourselves to continue, so that we don't just look like a bunch of crazy people on the side of the road, right? With picket signs and things, like to show that we're human beings. Yeah. So thank you.
And the feeling is mutual.
And Lucy, I don't have enough beautiful things to say about you, just because, again, like Vanessa said, like, yeah, I knew you, Lucy Lopez, on the radio, but through the last couple of years, we've become actual friends. It makes me happy to see you. I said earlier in the interview that I got a little teary-eyed when you were talking about the experience, and I'm about to start getting teary-eyed again, because you have so much inside of you, and I love, love, love to see it continue to just burst at the seams and come out in such a just genuine, authentic, positive way that I don't have enough words for that.
What you doing?
I don't have enough. Me quedo corto, with everything that I'm saying. So I cannot wait to see you up on that stage. And I may start standing ovation before you even say your first word. But that's also because I'm expecting that when you sing, you're going to be dressed like Grisabella from Cats. I think that's what I want to talk about off mic. Vanessa, have some notes on her costume when she sings. Yeah,
great.
But again, thank you, listeners. #Graced here at the Arch Center Miami, starting May 5th, running through the end of May, through May 21st. So you have bastante oportunidad to come see it. I don't want to hear like, ay, pero es que I didn't know and it only came out and only one day. No, you have like a month, okay? No joda. So get your asses down here, support local theater, support these fabulous women who are really just putting it all out there and, making us look good. So again, thank you for the time.
Thank you, Ish. Thank you so much.
Pero Let Me Tell You is co-hosted by Darian Borges and Ismaeliano, produced by Ismaeliano, and our theme, Pero Let Me Tell You Freestyle, is composed by Michael Angelo Lomlaplex, the official gay guy. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes.